If you are a U.S. citizen, a green card holder, or someone waiting for immigration approval, you may have seen headlines recently that made your heart race. Words like citizenship being revoked, new laws targeting immigrants, or easy paths ending can create real fear. I want you to know that my goal today is not to add to that fear. My goal is to give you clarity, to separate fact from rumor, and to help you understand what is actually happening in a calm and clear way. My name is Piper, and I have been following U.S. immigration news closely for years. I am here to walk you through this topic step by step, without hype, without shouting, and without creating panic where none is needed. By the end of this video, you will understand what these headlines really mean, who is actually affected, and most importantly, what you should or should not be worried about. Let's take this together, slowly and carefully. Before we go further, I want to be clear about something important. I am not a lawyer. I am not a government official. Nothing I say here is legal advice. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. My job is to explain things in simple terms so that you can be informed, not to tell you what legal steps to take. If you have a specific legal situation, you should always consult with a qualified immigration attorney who can review your individual case. What I offer here is context, clarity, and calm explanation. That is my promise to you. Now let's talk about what is actually being discussed when people mention new laws or changes in 2026. The first thing I want you to understand is that there is no single new law that has suddenly appeared out of nowhere to strip citizenship from millions of people. That is not what is happening. What we are seeing is a combination of ongoing discussions in Congress, proposals that have been talked about for years, and enforcement priorities that shift depending on the administration in power. Some of these discussions involve tightening rules around naturalization, increasing scrutiny on applications, or revisiting cases where fraud may have occurred. But these are not brand new ideas. They have been part of immigration debates for a long time. The reason they are getting attention now is because of political cycles, media coverage, and the natural anxiety people feel when they hear the word citizenship and change in the same sentence. Let me explain what areas are being discussed and who they might actually apply to. One area involves cases of citizenship obtained through fraud or misrepresentation. This is not new. For many years, U.S. law has allowed the government to pursue denaturalization in cases where someone lied on their application, hid criminal history, or used false documents to become a citizen. These cases are extremely rare. They involve intentional, serious fraud, and they require a lengthy legal process in federal court. The government must prove its case with evidence. A judge must agree. You have the right to defend yourself with a lawyer. This is not a quick or automatic process. It is not something that happens because of a small mistake or a misunderstanding. For the vast majority of naturalized U.S. citizens who told the truth on their applications, followed the rules, and became citizens legally, this does not apply to you. Take a breath. Your citizenship is not in danger simply because you were not born in the United States. Another area involves tightening eligibility requirements for future applicants. This could mean longer waiting periods, more documentation, stricter background checks, or higher fees. Some proposals have suggested increasing the residency requirement from 5 years to 10 years, or requiring more evidence of English proficiency or civic knowledge. These kinds of changes, if they happen, would apply to people applying for citizenship in the future, not to people who are already citizens. If you are already a U.S. citizen, whether you were born here or naturalized, changes to future application rules do not take away what you already have. Your citizenship does not expire. It does not need to be renewed. It is permanent. There is also discussion about green card policies, visa backlogs, processing times, and enforcement at the border. These topics are often mentioned together in immigration debates, but they are separate issues. If you are a green card holder waiting to apply for citizenship, changes to visa policies do not automatically affect your green card status. If you are a U.S. citizen, changes to green card processing do not affect you at all. It is important to separate these different categories because fear spreads when people mix them together. Now, I want to address some myths and misunderstandings directly because I know these are causing real stress for many of you. Myth number 1. Dual citizenship makes you a target for losing U.S. citizenship. This is false. The United States allows dual citizenship. Millions of U.S. citizens hold passports from other countries. Having dual citizenship does not make you less American. It does not put your U.S. citizenship at risk. You are not required to give up your other citizenship when you become a U.S. citizen. There are some countries that do not allow their citizens to hold dual nationality, but that is a rule of those countries, not the United States. Myth number 2. Any mistake on your citizenship application can lead to denaturalization. This is not true. Small errors, unintentional mistakes, or minor inconsistencies do not lead to citizenship being taken away. Denaturalization cases involve intentional fraud, serious crimes that were hidden, or false identities. If you accidentally wrote the wrong date or misspelled something on your N-400 form years ago, that is not grounds for denaturalization. The government would need to prove you committed fraud with the intent to deceive. Myth number 3. Citizenship can be taken away without a trial. This is completely false. If the government wants to pursue denaturalization, it must file a lawsuit in federal court. You have the right to a lawyer. You have the right to present evidence. A federal judge makes the final decision. This process takes years, not days or weeks. Let me also talk about who is not affected by any of these discussions. If you were born in the United States, you are a U.S. citizen by birth. Your citizenship cannot be taken away under any normal circumstances. There is a constitutional protection for birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment. If you are a U.S. citizen by birth, these immigration debates do not apply to you. You do not need to worry. If you are a naturalized U.S. citizen who told the truth on your application, followed all the rules, and became a citizen legally, you are also safe. The overwhelming majority of denaturalization cases involve very specific situations: war criminals who lied about their past, individuals involved in terrorism who hid their activities, or people who used completely false identities. These cases make headlines because they are so unusual. They are not representative of the millions of immigrants who became citizens honestly. If you are a green card holder, let's talk about your situation. Green card holders, also known as lawful permanent residents, have strong protections under U.S. law. Your green card does not expire in the sense that your status ends, though the physical card itself must be renewed every 10 years. You can live, work, and travel in the United States. You can apply for citizenship when you meet the eligibility requirements. Changes to immigration law might affect processing times, fees, or application requirements, but your current status as a green card holder is not automatically at risk because of proposed changes. Where green card holders do need to be careful is in maintaining their residency. If you leave the United States for long periods without proper documentation, if you commit certain crimes, or if you fail to file taxes, those actions can put your green card at risk. But those rules are not new. They have always been part of the requirements for maintaining permanent residency. Stay informed, follow the rules, and keep good records. For those of you who are waiting for green card approval, visa processing, or interview appointments, I know this time is stressful. Processing times have been unpredictable for years. Backlogs grew during the pandemic and have not fully recovered. Some people wait months or even years for interviews, approvals, or decisions. This waiting is frustrating, but it is not unusual in the current system. Delays do not mean denials. Silence from USCIS does not mean something is wrong. The system is slow and it is overwhelmed. I know that does not make the waiting easier, but I want you to understand that you are not alone in this experience. Millions of people are in the same situation. Keep your documents organized. Respond promptly to any requests from uscis. Check your case status online regularly. If your case has been pending for an unusually long time, beyond normal processing times, you may want to consult with an attorney about whether an inquiry or follow-up is appropriate. Now let's talk about what you should actually do with this information. First, if you are a U.S. citizen, whether by birth or naturalization, and you obtained your citizenship legally, you do not need to take any special action. You do not need to hire a lawyer. You do not need to gather extra documents. You do not need to prepare for anything. Your citizenship is secure. Continue living your life. Second, if you are a green card holder or waiting for immigration approval, make sure your documentation is in order. Keep copies of all your immigration paperwork. Keep records of travel, taxes, addresses, and employment. If uscis contacts you, respond promptly and completely. If you have questions about your case, consider consulting with an immigration attorney who can review your specific situation. Third, stay informed through reliable sources. uscis has an official website where you can check policy updates, processing times, and case status. Avoid making decisions based on social media rumors or incomplete news headlines. Fourth, if you see headlines that scare you, take a moment to read the full article. Often the headline is designed to get clicks, and the actual content is less alarming. Ask yourself, does this apply to me? Is this a proposal or a law? Is this about future applicants or current citizens? Taking a breath and reading carefully will help you avoid unnecessary panic. I also want to talk about something that does not get discussed enough, and that is the emotional side of immigration. Waiting for approval is exhausting. Worrying about your status is stressful. Hearing scary headlines when you are already anxious is overwhelming. If you are feeling this way, I want you to know that your feelings are valid. Immigration is not just paperwork. It is about your life, your family, your future. It is okay to feel worried. It is okay to feel frustrated. But I also want you to know that the immigration system, for all its flaws, is structured and legal. It is not random. It is not designed to trap honest people. Yes, it is slow. Yes, it is complicated. Yes, it is frustrating. But millions of people successfully navigate it every year. You are not alone in this process. There are communities, organizations, and resources available to help you. Reach out if you need support. Talk to people who have been through it. Do not carry this stress in silence. Let me summarize what we have covered today, because I want to make sure the key points are clear. There is no new law in 2026 that suddenly ends citizenship or takes away rights from honest immigrants. Denaturalization cases are rare and involve serious fraud proven in federal court. If you are a U.S. citizen who became one legally, your citizenship is secure. If you are a green card holder, your status is protected as long as you follow the rules and maintain your residency. Changes to immigration law, if they happen, are more likely to affect future applicants, processing times, and fees, not people who are already citizens or permanent residents. Most of the fear around these topics comes from incomplete headlines, political rhetoric, and the mixing of different immigration issues into one big worry. When you separate the facts, the picture is much less scary. I want to leave you with this thought. The United States has a long history of immigration. The system has changed many times over the decades. There have always been debates, reforms, and shifts in policy. But the core structure remains. People apply, they are vetted, they follow a legal process, and they become part of this country. That process is not perfect, but it is real and it is available. If you are already a citizen, you are part of that story, and no headline can change that. If you are working towards citizenship, keep going. Follow the rules, be patient, and stay informed. Your effort and honesty matter. Thank you for watching this video. I know these topics can be heavy, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen and learn. If this video helped you understand the situation more clearly, I would be grateful if you would share it with someone who might also be worried. Knowledge is the best defense against fear. If you have questions or want to share your experience, feel free to leave a comment below. I read them, and I learned from your stories. Please remember, stay informed, stay calm, and trust the process. You are going to be okay. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.